What's going to be? What's going to be,
Thank
boy?
you for pretending that you're not grumpy.
Keep that up. You're going to see how grumpy I can be.
I have already seen how grumpy you can be. Thank God for this episode. Hello, everybody.
Hi, folks.
I already see you here, Crystal. Hello. Hello, anybody else who is here already. We are 2 minutes early. Mm-hmm. Are we capable of keeping ourselves to 2 minutes of BS?
That's a quick butt rub.
That's half a butt rub. That's barely a butt rub. That's like, I thought about being a butt rub, but I changed my mind at the last minute. That's the 30-second shoulder rub you get before when your partner's like, hey, I'll give you a back rub. And what they mean is, hey, I want to have sex. Yeah, that. And then that's supposed to somehow get you in the mood. But I don't know anything about that. Hello, Alyssa. So, anybody want to take bets on if I'm going to remember the emoji of the week?
Good
Hi,
one.
Eva.
Hi,
Actually,
Eva.
I already have an emoji of the week in mind. You just have to wait till the bonus section to find out what it is. I'm just saying. I do have one. I do have one in mind. So we should. No. We got a minute, so we can kind of just BS for a minute. Crystal, it's funny. I don't consider myself a tease, and yet I have it in me. Not on purpose. I think it's just that I'm playful. Hi, Kenneth. I think it's just that I'm playful. That's what I think. That's what I think.
You can twist it any way you want.
I'm not usually. Actually, I usually walk around with resting bitch face, and I'm like, everybody. My vibe is leave me alone. I'm just saying. Yes, Eva, you're right. I will remember now because I mentioned it. Or I will forget. And the reason I mentioned it is so somebody would remind me.
Okay, Eva, you owned it now. You have to remind her.
No, I do. 2-3 weeks in a row I've forgotten. But it was a fairly new thing. Oh, yay, Alyssa, I'm glad you like the slapstick. I both love and hate it, quite frankly. Which is how it should be. Okay, it is officially 2:30. Crystal, you're right. The short butt rub is the tease, but it's not even enough to get you warmed up. But we're here. It's 2:30. We're going to actually start on time. But we got to do a lot more housekeeping stuff because we got here kind of late. For the record, we have the green light of magic that says that our stream should work. So, yay. Also, the shirts we are wearing, I've got daddy issues is mine. John Brownstones says, keep calm and say yes, daddy. Mm-hmm. These are both from Ignixia's shop, Kink Positive, on Teespring. The links are in the description box. And if you are interested in buying any kink-themed t-shirts in general, there is a coupon code to save 20% off. The coupon code is Stimulus. It's in the description box. We are not affiliated. We do not make money off of this. We are just supporting our friend Ignixia, who could use some extra cash. So I've got daddy issues. I don't think they have the purple in this specific style anymore. You might have to look around and see what you can get. We did order some new shirts with that coupon. So there will be new shirts making debuts probably after the move. Yep. Okay. So the topic, as you can see from the title, whatever that word up there, that's a straight line. I'm sure you see it as a straight line. I see it as a straight line. We're talking about cheering each other up because both of us, alternately, have been doing a lot of that lately. So we figure it's worth a conversation. Because this is the YouTube side, we love a thumbs up. We love a subscribe. We are 12 away from our arbitrary goal of 3,000. And then there will be some random live stream. I don't know when. I don't know what about, but we will do the thing. In 12 more subscriptions. There's a word. Grammar, not my strong suit today. And I'm a writer.
And we're really in trouble.
I know. So if you have not subscribed and you actually are amused by anything we do, feel free. Do you have anything you would like to remind the YouTube watchers of when it comes to subscribing?
The notification bell.
Wow, I don't even like the fucking thing, but I'm the submissive who's making sure.
And you did a good job.
I'm also clearly a masochist. Go ahead.
Be sure to ring that notification bell so you get notified when we upload new videos or we're here doing live streams like this.
Y'all know how I feel about it. We will move on.
Girl.
And to those of you who are our patrons, our proud crickets over on Patreon, thank you. We love you. We see you. Patreon.com/KaylaLords if you're interested. Okay. Now we can like do the thing and bring in the...
I can
do the magic buttons.
I can do some work.
Yeah. This is the technical thing, right?
No, it's more like...
Oh, that's your technical thing. We all have our own technical thing.
There you go.
All
right, here we go.
Okay, so before we get into the topic, I want to do my thing that I've been doing. This is, I guess, now the third or fourth week in a row. Show of hands, who's tired of me doing this? It's the reminder. Stop! Did you just raise your... Podcast listeners, he just raised his hand. It's the reminder. It's just a simple reminder. Mini podcast episodes are going out every Tuesday on your favorite podcast app, if you are a podcast listener. We are still doing our Friday night YouTube live stream hangouts where we talk about not a damn thing that's important, but we have a good time doing it. And then if you happen to be with us on Patreon or considering Patreon, or this is somehow a selling point to you, doesn't matter to me, we do have a Discord server through Patreon. I'm not spending as much time in there as I would like, but we will work on that. I'm working on that. So that is the weekly reminder. We're getting to that quickly, getting through it quickly. Let us move on to today's topic, which feels like I'm reaching for a topic, but also I like to pull from things that are happening in our own lives.
Yes.
Because one, that's easy to talk about. Two, that feels kind of relatable. Like if I'm going through it, somebody else out there is going through it. And that is, of course, this is specific to the world we live in today, but you and I have always been this way outside of, world on fire events.
Yes.
And that's on cheering each other up. I want to put a couple of disclaimers out here. Probably the biggest one is this is not my partner is going through a mental illness issue like depression or anxiety, and I'm trying to cheer them up. That's a different thing. That's a whole, like, we've talked about that in different ways. This is sort of my partner's a little stressed. My partner's a little worried. My partner's just fucking grumpy. And named John Brownstone, and we call him a grumpy polar bear, but whatever. That's the level that we're getting into. We're going to try and keep this kind of light, even though I think pretty much everybody watching or listening could go, yeah, there's plenty of reasons to either need cheering up or to just be grumpy. And try to have the conversation within the context of a power exchange, except this is one of those topics, it's just a people thing. It's a human thing. It's a relationship thing. It doesn't matter what flavor your relationship is. These are things that I think we go through. So if anybody's like, but my partner's going through a major depressive low, how do I cheer them up? I'm thinking you kind of don't. It's just a whole different topic. So I think that was the only disclaimer I wanted to make sure I put out there so that people have, expectation management, which actually is also a really good topic idea that I'll have to write that down at some point. So why are we talking about this other than the world being on fire in general? Thankfully, most of the time with us, when we flip-flop. One of us is grumpy or stressed or worried or just in a bad mood or just, I hate the world. And the other one is not quite that bad. And it's like, I can...
We alternate.
Right. I think I know most, if not all, of the reasons why I actively work hard to cheer you up. I do that. And there are the definite power exchange ones, sometimes I'm a playful baby girl who just really wants everybody to be happy. And sometimes it does feel like it's being of service to you. Because quite frankly, you're not functioning at your best when you're walking around like a grumpy polar bear.
No.
And so then I'm not getting what I need. And so in order to help you through whatever, so you can get back to being the big D I really need you to be, it is a sort of an act of service to do something that I think will cheer you up. And when I say do something, I mean, I'm not putting on a tap dance show in the living room. You know, sometimes I'm cracking a joke. Sometimes nobody wants to see that. No, especially since I have basically forsworn bras, except when I'm in front of a camera. Nobody wants to see the girls tap dancing. No. Stop. But I know that I also do it for other reasons. And then I might be getting into heavy reasons. Here we are. I hate conflict. It doesn't mean I've gotten better at not actively avoiding conflict when there needs to be conflict. If you follow me on my personal Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. I'm getting really good at that. But I am one of those people pleasers that wants the people around me to be happy. I want the people that I care for to be happy. Now, I know that I've personally spent a long time unlearning behaviors and attitudes and ways of thinking that would allow me to make sure the other person is happy to my own detriment. Like, there were many times it was, oh, we have no money, but what would make you happy is to buy that expensive thing. And this is pre-you. You and I've never been this way. But in my first marriage, yeah, I was that person. I do see how parents spoil children, because I sometimes do actively fight the urge to, I don't like to disappoint a kid. Now, sometimes I take great glee in their disappointment and tears. No, I don't. Not that bad. But, I
That's
get...
me.
You're right. Yes. You want to talk about the sadist coming out. Let him tell a teenager he can't do something. This is great. But I know that because I am a people pleaser, I have those tendencies and those urges, and I have to be careful. I have to think through why I'm trying to cheer somebody up, why I'm trying to make somebody happy. Is it actively hurting me to do it? Are there outcomes further down the line where I may regret this, and I can see them? I can see them coming like a freight train. So I have to make myself not do that thing, even though it would make the person I want to cheer up in front of me happy in the moment. You and I have a very healthy relationship. And I can probably, if I went back in the memory banks, I could probably come across one or two times where maybe I said yes, or maybe I pretended to be enthusiastic about something because I wanted you to be happy.
I can usually tell.
These days you can. These eyes are not really good at hiding. When I think the rest of my face will do fine. The eyes, the eyes, you'll know. The
eyes never lie.
Not on this face. There's a reason I don't play poker. But I'm sure, and I think sometimes we do that in a relationship. You say yes to something, or you don't bring up a problem because you don't want the fight, or it's just not worth it, and it keeps the other partner kind of in a happy place, and it's just not worth it to you to go into all of it. It's just not that big of a deal. For us, those are few and far between. Part of that being we talk about everything. So even if it's a little naggy thing, I'm going to go, hey, we're going to have this conversation. But those, I think, are my main reason. Other than, and my biggest reason for actively working hard to cheer you up when I know you need it, or I think you need it. And that's how I like you to be happy. Life is better
when you're happy.
Oh,
absolutely.
It just is. Now you work hard to cheer me up. Your methods are different than mine. We're going to get into methods in a minute. Don't worry, y'all. Have you ever given it any thought as to why, other than that you love me? I think.
Well, I mean, yeah, there is the obvious that I love you, but it's kind of a twist on an old axiom. A happy sub is a good sub.
Well, I'd like to think so. I like to think so.
But I think with you, it comes down to I know you work hard, and you do so many things, and you juggle so many plates at any given time, and there's only so much I can do to help you with that, with what you do. So when I see you feeling down or unhappy, it hurts me, and I want you, just like you want me to be happy, I want you to be happy.
Don't make me cry. I'm wearing mascara. I don't think it's waterproof. I love you, Daddy.
But I think that's just, the way it should be.
and I agree. I mean, I would like to think that. I think part of it is our personality too. I think that if you are prone to be more of an optimist, it's probably a little bit easier to do. If you're in a, like, world being on fire notwithstanding, okay? Let's take that out of the equation for half a second. Under the old normal, right? When I was in a good place in life, when I was in a bad place in life, it was hard to be like cheery and excited and woo. Except my natural optimism would kind of shine through, and so even on like the worst days, I could usually find a glimmer because that's part of my personality, and I think that does have a lot to do with it. Your personality being part of it. When things are good and easy, of course, it's easier for many people. But again, I think there's sort of a how you're wired that goes into that. So God, I am the most annoying person when I'm in a good place in life, because then my optimist side is much more glittery, much bigger, a much brighter color shade of purple. I'm just saying, I have to actively tone it down. Like when I'm feeling good and life is good, I want everybody to feel good with me. And sometimes
Where's the dimmer
right.
switch?
And sometimes that's too much for people. Like even the people who love you are like, bitch, I need you to chill. Okay. Just calm the fuck down. So I do think that there's probably something, inherent in that it's personality driven. I would like to clarify, because I use the word cheerful, and a lot of you can either hear me or see me, and you're like, oh yeah, baby girl, cheerful. Oh Lord. It's not always this rah-rah cheerleader kind of cheery. You and I are both sarcastic asses. We are snarky fucks. I love some good dark humor. I love to crack an inappropriate joke where nobody else can hear me. Not a gross one, not one that you would like be offended by, but like one you just would not say in public, right?
True.
So we like me getting you to smirk when you've been grumpy. I mean, I feel like I just scored a touchdown. Like, I don't even know how to score a touchdown. I can barely hold a football. I'm not sure where the football field is. I don't know what all those people are doing out there, but I think I know how they feel.
Game, set, and match, right?
Well, that's a different sport altogether. We are not allowed to do sports metaphors. I feel so good, even when it's dark humor and you smirk. Like, or you do your evil laugh. Like, that's like, yes, that's a win. It didn't change the situation. It didn't change the reality of whatever caused the bad mood in the first place.
But it takes some of the weight off.
Yeah, and it added some levity. And I'm like, it's like almost a power I like to have. It's like, look, I made that person smile. And I made the person I love smile, which is even more, even if it's temporary.
Yeah.
So we do have different methods. Now we both do use, like, we do crack jokes that I will never say in front of my mother. Minimum, I would never say in front of my mother. You like to drive me to distraction. You like, I think you really enjoy it when I'm like, are you kidding me? No. What I can think of, I can think of one method you use, but what methods do you think you use to cheer me up?
It depends. There are times where I know that if I just unexpectedly out of the blue run off and bring you back a Diet Coke.
Oh yes, you just hit a love language there. You gave me a gift.
See? So I know that's one thing. Depending on your mood, if I just act stupid or goofy.
Yeah, if I'm like paying attention.
Yeah. Roll out a few puns.
That's what I was thinking. I was going to name your puns. Oh, Lord, the puns. Yeah. And I think, you know what I think it is? And we use the term cheering each other up, but I really think it's distraction. Because in the middle of like a frustrating thing or a bad mood or, right now, the world being on fire, it's really easy to get mired down in that reality because that's what we're living. But I don't think there's anything in life that can be a constant where that is all you can ever think about. Even if for half a second your mind wanders, it just can't focus on the either best or worst possible thing 24/7 without distraction. And I really think that that's what the cheering up, which is just the expression I've been using because that's what I feel like I've been doing for you for the past 4 weeks. But it's a pleasant distraction, an amusing distraction, because I am. I hate the puns. I am also in awe of the puns because I understand that being able to make puns like that is a sign that basically the neurons are firing up there because you're making connections and you're remembering things and you're thinking of words, and it's just a really creative way to use language. Also, they drive me just nuts. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I do think I know you're really trying to get me out of whatever funk I'm in, whatever mood I'm in, whatever's got my focus that's negative when the puns just start rolling. Y'all, we can be sitting at the dinner table and between him and the 14-year-old, they go, y'all once had an entire conversation
in puns.
In Queen puns.
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury, Queen, song lyrics and puns. It was an entire conversation. I was blown away. I was also very annoyed. My eyes were rolling. But you know what I wasn't doing? I wasn't thinking about whatever I had been thinking about that had been, on my mind before. And I think that's the other thing that I think is important when I think about cheering you up or distraction or whatever. Yeah. It doesn't fix the problem. It just gives you a moment of levity, of lightness, of remembering, hey, wait, there are other parts of life that maybe are good. They might be smaller parts. They might be parts that we take for granted, like our relationship. So let's say the world's on fire outside and there's a lot going on with that. But other than the tension that might be added to any relationship, power exchange or not, the relationship underneath is still a good one, right?
Yeah.
So having moments, even brief, like small, moments to just remember that, hey, wait, I really like this person. I'm choosing to be in this relationship for a reason. Oh yeah, that's right. They make me smile. They make me laugh. They say stupid shit that makes me want to, my eyes roll back in my head, but I picked them partly for that. So that, I think, in all times and in all relationships, I don't care if you're married, you're not married, it's a sexual relationship, it's a romantic relationship, it's none of those, it's platonic. I don't care if you're dealing with people in a way where you're forming bonds and trust, which you absolutely are in any power exchange. Being reminded of, hey, wait, I really, no matter what else is going on in the world, I really like this person. And oh, that's why. There's my moment to go, oh, that's why I like them. They make me laugh. Or they're goofy with me. Or they get my weird jokes, which is very affirming and validating. I went through I met you when I was 33? The first 33, 34 years of my life, with most people in my life not getting my humor, not getting my sarcasm. It either went right over their head or they just weren't paying attention to me. It's kind of lonely when you go through life like that. And then I met the one person who's like, you didn't even finish that sentence. I know what you mean, and it's funny as fuck. So having those little reminders from your partner between you, I think helps keep the relationship strong, even in times of strife and stress, assuming that your partner's not the reason that your world's on fire right now. That's a whole other conversation. We are going on the supposition that you both might be stressed to the max, but you actually do like one another and maybe even love one another. And yeah, you want to be together.
One would hope.
Do you... Because we both have clearly memories of life before power exchange, different power exchange relationships. So when I ask this question, that's where I'm coming at it from. Do you think that the cheering up or the distraction or whatever term we want to use, I'm still going to stay with cheering each other up, is different at all, either for you or in general? I would go more for you, but whatever. In DS than it is in a vanilla relationship, or is it dependent? Is it different from DS relationship to DS relationship?
I can only go by past relationships that I've had. Right.
Yes.
So would I say it's different? Yes, absolutely. I think because of our relationship in general, and because of our DS mixed in with it, I think that what you do to try to cheer me up when I need that one, you try a little harder, and it's heartfelt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so I see it coming from those places.
Do you, whether you're the one cheering up or the one being cheered up, is there anything about it from either side of that taps into your dominance at all, or do you use your dominance? Now, I will say, I can say this to my submissive friends out there. Sometimes you're going to be trying to cheer somebody up and they're not going to be in the mood for your little baby girl playfulness and your little glittery self, and they're going to shut you down in a heartbeat like the big D they are. And it is not my favorite thing ever. Because I'm just trying to make you feel better and get you to not be so fucking grumpy. And the way we describe it, or the way, I think I started this and you kind of like just go with it. Yeah. And I'm like, it's like you ever heard the expression, bit my head off? Well, I take that way too far. And I'm like, you didn't just bite my head off. You are gnawing on my head in the back of your teeth like I am gristle. Can you like stop chewing on me? Nom nom. And it's not sexy. It's not kinky. It's like, I mean, I feel like the bite my head off is a good expression because it does feel like a chunk's been taken out of you. And I don't like that feeling. I was just over here trying to be Miss Mary Sunshine.
You were just trying to be a nice girl.
I know. Why are my efforts not appreciated? That is a reality. And that's a reality regardless of the side of the slash. I'm just, true. I can only speak from a submissive perspective. Just know they might big D you out of trying to cheer them up, and that is not always fun.
Well, to go back to your question.
What, I'm getting sidetracked this week? Is that's happening? I hadn't noticed.
No, not you. I see it coming from both ends. Because when you're trying to cheer me up, you're performing an act of service.
Yeah, in part. We talked about that.
And when I'm trying to cheer you up, it's like I'm taking control of the situation and...
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that makes sense. And the way we respond is sometimes within our power exchange and sometimes not. So sometimes I can get you laughing and it's your sadistic laugh. So that's that part of the big D-ness. Yeah. And sometimes it's the daddy kind of thing. And sometimes it's a combination. And sometimes you just... And this is the reality, especially for my people pleasers out there. This is just a reality. If you have not already figured out, let's just face this one together, okay? Sometimes, regardless of what you're trying to do, what might even be, quote, best for the other person, you cannot distract them from the moment, cheer them up. It's just not that they're not in the space to hear what you're doing or to appreciate what you're doing. And it's like anything else we do in any other relationship in life, boundaries and consent. If they tell you to back off, you need to back off. That is my fatal mistake, because sometimes I'm like, wait, no, I just need to try harder. That will help. It does not help. So I think that is something to keep in mind, especially if you are like me, and it's almost, for me, it's like a physical pain to know that I can't fix the situation, but I'm also not making you smile and you're not happy. And we now have to walk around life with you being unhappy, and I just do not react well to that. And I know I'm not the only one out there like that. Getting to the point where I could go, okay, he does not want this. This is not working. I'm going to back off. I'm going to retreat. And what I'm doing, I don't know if you've ever noticed this. I might go off and do something else, like give you your space if that's what you've asked for. But my eyes and ears are open the whole time. I am waiting for that moment where there's a twinkle in his eyes, or he says something, and I can be snarky, I can be silly, I can take it and run with it in the way that we do with our humor, as we have shown off for 216 episodes. And then maybe that's my in. Maybe you're ready to be cheered up. Maybe you're ready for that moment of distraction.
There's sometimes I just want to embrace my inner Eeyore.
Lord, yes. And this is not a good look for me, but I'm going to admit it for full disclosure. Okay, we show all of it, warts and all around here. I can get really annoyed with that, even when I know that. So let me back up. Not even when. It happens most often when, this is not a good look, y'all, when I know, air quote, believe I know that the thing he's upset about is not worth being upset about. It is not a good look. I understand. Our feelings are valid. Okay, we get to feel what we feel. Yes, this is true, but also, why are you upset about that? We can fix it in 2 seconds. I'm here trying to cheer you up. Stop being Eeyore. That was a dinner conversation.
Yes, it was.
2 or 3 nights ago. So, you can take trying to cheer your partner up a little too far is all I'm saying there.
And then you have Tigger over here that's just...
Sometimes. Sometimes.
I want to embrace my inner Eeyore. And you're like Tigger over there just bouncing.
And I do think if I wanted to dig deeper into it, it really is about the fact that I hate conflict. Even when the conflict is not aimed at me, it's not even about me. I'm not even a part of it. I'm just your partner in life who happens to be witnessing it with you. It's my people pleaser side that does believe if everybody's happy, life is perfect. It's fine. This is fine. Right? Like, I know that's not always healthy, which is where we can actually get into arguments. And I have flounced off, tears in my eyes, with the thought, like the baby girl that I am, I was just trying to cheer you up. And if you've ever had that moment, it might be because there were some boundary issues.
Jay makes a good point, and that sometimes you do just have to wallow in it.
And you know what? As a wallower, I agree.
And you do the same thing from time to time. There are times I have gotten better at reading you, because there are times that I know there is not a damn thing I can do.
Right.
And the best thing I can do is, just like you said, let you go off, be by yourself.
And I will... you and I have gotten into it when you've tried to pull a me and gone Tigger and tried to cheer me up when I was not ready for it.
Oh, it ain't pretty.
No. And it's weird because I know it for myself. I know it objectively for other people. But there is something, and I'm not going to speak for anybody else who recognizes themselves as a people pleaser or somebody who hates conflict, but I know that it is a deeper need that I should probably talk to my therapist about, that I've had to learn the hard way, that either to read your signals better, and that comes with time and being in a relationship long enough, and the fact that we do our best to clearly communicate in those moments and outside of those moments. So I know when you say, just stop, give me a few minutes, I can hear it in the tone of your voice. I can see it in your body language. I can see it in your, you give off all these signals that I have learned how to read, that I can go, fine, and I'll walk away. But I am still, this is probably not healthy, but whatever, I am still waiting for an opportunity. The moment I see just a crack in your armor, I'm sliding in my good cheer, okay? It might be my snarky, we would go to hell if anybody hurt us good cheer, but I'm sliding it in. I have argued with you in a silly way until I've gotten you to laugh. I think that was called an hour ago.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
If you are noticing that we are talking more about John Brownstone being a grumpy polar bear and me doing the cheering up than the other way around, I think it's because of what I said at the top, the disclaimer I gave, because most, not all, of my really bad moods and times I can't be cheered up, and he might try, are due to mental health. And that's just a whole other animal to me. But also I look at it as, for me, and this is not a universal, this is just about me, it is a little bit of my baby girl side. It is my submissive side. It is my people-pleasing side. And I think that the people-pleasing and the please don't have conflict that's not about D or S. That's not about what side of the slash you're on. But for me, it all gets wrapped up together. And so I am also, and this goes back to childhood things I should talk to my therapist about, I am also very attuned to your moods, Like, I know when you're in a bad mood before you will admit to yourself you are in a bad mood. You're like, I am just pensive and I am thinking. And I'm over there going, nope, 3, 2, 1. I'm like waiting for it. And that does come from stuff from 30 plus years ago where I almost to my detriment, I read people that I know fairly well to the point where you have gotten annoyed with me because I'm trying to cheer him up ahead of time so I can maybe avoid the bad mood that I feel coming. I mean, that does get other things come out of that are also probably not good, where I will try to do conflict resolution before he's ready to admit there's a conflict, and that's a little weird. I will preemptively try to fix a problem when I haven't been told there's a problem, because he's not even thinking to himself about the problem. I have read. And then there's that question you have. It's a little bit of Schrodinger's cat. Was there a problem that I saw coming, or did me trying to fix the problem that didn't exist cause the problem? There was and wasn't a problem all at the same time. And if I would stop being incessantly cheerful, trying to fix these issues before they happened, we might not be not talking, and my baby girl feelings might not be hurt. We've had that happen a few times too.
Yes.
So if you are listening or watching and you're like, oh, I'm totally the person who's trying to cheer everybody up, I want you to think about that. And I want you to do a deep dive into your own, experiences with it and your own motivations. And when you've done it and it hasn't worked, okay, it's not just because you're the most cheerful person and everybody around you's a pessimist. Sometimes we're annoying, okay? Sometimes we are causing problems instead of fixing them. I have self-awareness. I know. I just can't stop myself.
That's a good thing.
I know after the fact, y'all.
Yeah. Podcast
listeners, you cannot see the look he's giving me, but you know the look he's giving me. Yes. So in terms of relationships, I said this, I think, at the top, that we are usually pretty fortunate when one of us is down, the other one is in a place, even if we're not like, woohoo, happy go lucky. We're in a place where we can cheer the other one up. I know that I have been pulled out of a bad mood because I wanted to cheer you up. Have you ever had that happen? Like you were kind of, and then I was, and you were like,
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
You could have lied and said, yes, I would have believed you. Just saying. Don't lie. That's wrong.
No.
Don't lie.
No.
I do know that the hardest part is when you're both down. It's when, in a time like right now when the world is on fire. And I'm not smart enough to have good advice on that.
No.
I think it is personality driven. If you were the type of person to maybe see humor in dark places, or you are also an optimist who can see, you're the silver lining kind of person. I am a silver lining kind of person. Yes, I know we annoy you non-silver lining kind of people. It's fine. It's fine. But again, I think that,
Well, I was just going to say, I don't know whether it's luck or whether it's because of the way our relationship is just based. We very, very seldom have those times when we're both down. I mean, it happens.
Sure, of
but
course.
Not very often.
No, we knock on wood. That's pure luck. That's not anything we've done. It's just pure luck at this point. Yeah. Our day is coming. I do think that if we look at it in terms of cheering each other up, when we're both in tough spots, no. I mean, I'm kind of a sarcastic bitch in those moments, and I revel in it, and I enjoy it. But what we will do is distract each other so we can get the other one to smile or laugh. Because I think we both enjoy that.
Yeah.
And so then it's a bit of a challenge. Like, what can I say? What ridiculous thing can I say? What weird voice can I use? What observation can I make? It's like, what pun can I make? Or
well, one of the things that you love to do at night, if we're in bed and I'm not in the right headspace, you will do things to me to try and get a reaction.
Oh my God, y'all, I will tickle him. I will. We discussed this last week. It was last week. There will be, I'm going to say this again. I'm not going to go through what this means if you did not catch last week's episode. There will be a lot of budgies. You have to go watch last week's episode or listen to it. I'm not going through that again. I will be silly. I will be goofy. I will be playful. I have found, and I know this does not work for everybody, I am well aware, but I have found that sometimes by forcing myself to pretend that I am cheerful, I can fake myself out. So I'm doing it. I'm becoming playful. I'm becoming silly because I desperately want you to get out of your funk, even if it's just for a moment. I want to break that mood.
Yeah.
As long as I have the energy to do it, and that's the hard part because sometimes you just don't have the energy to do it. When I have the energy to do it, even though I'm not really feeling it, I can fake it. It's a fake it till you make it thing. Like I can almost, I start out like, but I really want him to smile. And then by the end, we're both laughing and we're legit like not thinking about the thing, whatever it was. And again, it doesn't mean that we've made that thing go away or we've even forgotten about it. There have been many moments I've gotten you to laugh, to crack up, to just smack my ass, whatever you needed to do, whatever reaction I was going for, whatever distraction. And we've laughed, and then you've been willing to talk about what's on your mind.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's, it's not completely altruistic. It's not just that I want to make my daddy happy. It's, I want us to get to the root of the problem. What's on your mind? Because everything in any relationship, but we're talking about power exchange, the root of it is always communication. Preventing problems before they happen, correcting course, fixing problems after the fact, solving problems together, facing the big issues. It all comes down to communication. And if you get too lost in your own head, it absolutely affects your mood. And so I've got to get you out of that because what I need you to do is talk to me because we can't face or fix, whichever one it is, anything if we're
without talking about it
and without being on the same page. And so because I know some of y'all are out there, I can see the live chat. If some of y'all are like, this fucking cheerful shit, right? And you're my pessimist who hate the silver lining, it's fine. We're cool. I love you anyway. It's fine. I will still do my best to make you smile because that's who I am. Think of it in those terms. I mean, I don't want anybody to do anything against their personality. But maybe you're not thinking, well, cheer my partner up. What? Well, maybe it's not that for you. Maybe it is just pure distraction so that you can get them out of their head just long enough so you can get both of you talking about something. That's where I get the most frustrated with you.
Yeah. Because
when you are really resistant to my efforts and y'all have met me, you can hear the sound of my voice, you can see my face, my efforts are big. It's a go big or go home thing. When you resist those, that's when I know what is on your mind, what I get. And if you are this partner or you have this partner, you know what I'm talking about. I get it's fine. It's nothing. Bullshit. If that look on your face, that tone in your voice, you not looking at me the way you normally do, y'all, I know it's not nothing. Okay. And most of the time, I think many of us know it's not nothing. For my fellow warriors and anxious people, it's not always us. We have to. I do internalize that weight. If you're not telling me what's wrong, does that mean it's me? And so then, almost. Oh, I can't think of the word I want, but in a not healthy way, I then turn on the charm even more because now my anxiety has gone, oh my gosh, this grumpy mood, this whatever I'm dealing with is me. And so I now need to perform my cheeriness so I can make him love me again. That sounds pathological when I say it out loud, and I know it is. Yeah. It is. So we do have some impacting our interactions with one another. If you're not willing to just come out and tell me about it, and I know it works because we've been together long enough, and this won't work with everybody. This is not a universal thing, y'all. But because I know it works, if I can get you distracted and get you just to chuckle just a little bit, then your armor is cracked and you will let me in, and then you'll talk to me.
True. Now, I just want to say real quick, because Jennifer was asking how tickling can be dangerous. Yes. Now, she can tickle me, And she gets me to crack a laugh and
It's
and
a
smile.
mission.
It's a mission.
It's a mission.
Yeah. Now with her, I learned early on. She is very ticklish.
I am.
Do not tickle her.
Fucking hate it.
She
hate it.
She is a flailer.
I'll knock you out.
And her feet will fly. I came very close to losing my head a couple times.
And I'm not saying sorry. You come at me and tickle me, I'm kicking.
Yeah, no.
I don't know how I ever got pedicures. And that's the thing. That's knowing each other's relationship. And the question we get all the time is when. It is a time thing.
Yeah.
The more you learn about each other and what works and what doesn't, you internalize that, you store it away in your memory banks and you pull it out when you need it. And yeah, in the beginning, when we were long distance,
Mm-hmm.
I think we both actively, even if we didn't consciously do this, but I think we actively just tried to keep each other in an up kind of mood. Some days you would call the other and it would just be a hard day because you really wanted to be with each other and you couldn't. And we both felt that way. Yeah. Some days it was harder for me than it was for him, vice versa. Sometimes we had a hard day at work and what we really wanted to do is go home to somebody we cared about. Like that kind of stuff, absolutely. And we never really talked about what we were doing, but we did work really hard to find bright spots and find moments like, oh, that did suck, but what about this thing you were telling me about? Mm-hmm. And it was different when we moved in together because we didn't have those sort of coordinated times when we knew we were going to be talking.
Right.
And we were living mostly the same existence. So I think the danger we fell into was of thinking we didn't have to talk about what had happened because we both thought we knew.
Right.
Because, well, you were there and I was there and we both saw the same thing. And perception does not work that way.
No.
Two people can absolutely experience the same exact thing and have totally different recollection of it.
Which brought about us going to bed at night and talking.
Yes, that is our best place.
Yeah.
Because we're relaxed at that point. Mm-hmm. That is when I get probably the most playful.
Yeah.
And you do too, I think. You do too. And then it's a little bit of letting your guard down from the day. During the day, you're interacting with however many people. These days, we interact with a lot less, obviously. But, if a teenager annoys Grumpy Polar Bear, it might not be the teenager who is facing the grump. It might be me who's facing the grump. And that's just life. But then we're laying down in bed and it's quiet and the lights are dim and we're relaxing. And then the grump kind of fades away or softens a bit. And then you're willing to talk about it or you're willing to let me be silly.
The hackles come down.
Yes, Lord, I can tell when his hackles are up. You can tell when my hackles are up too, though. I'm not shy or quiet about that.
No.
So we use very verbal things to cheer each other up. But let's talk a little bit, because this will be personal for everybody. This will be unique to everybody because there's no one way. Have we, I don't think we have, but do you have a memory of ever using kinky fuckery or sex in that way? Or has it ever been the outcome? Like we cheered one another up and then we're like, hey.
I don't think, I know I have never used it.
No.
Like I think if anything, it's more been the after effect.
Yeah, we're both relaxed.
Yeah.
The grumpy one is less grumpy, and so now, hey, we can do the kinky fuckery thing that we want to do.
Right.
I think, though, that if you're like, actually, what distracts my partner is impact play, is bondage. If that's what works, if, going, hey, I got some rope here, you want to come tie somebody up? It gets them out of their funk, then use it. Yeah. I think it's about knowing your partner. Have we ever had, not, when I say angry sex, I do not mean that we were angry with one another and fucked, because my libido does not work that way. It just is not. But have we ever had we're both kind of grumpy at other things and had sex? I don't think that we have. I
don't think so.
Because I know some people do, and then that works, it cuts tension.
It's a catharsis, yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong with us that we don't? There's nothing wrong with you if you don't. There's nothing wrong with you if you do. But I'm kind of like, wait, why aren't we having angry sex? Again, not angry at one another.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's what we're doing wrong. We have sleepy sex.
Yeah.
But we're already relaxed. Right. Should we have angry sex?
Uh-huh.
Should we just fuck our way through the world being on fire? I mean, eventually we have to get out of bed.
Damn.
I know.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Mm.
So, people at Tayshiu, I can see talking about mummification, and Silent Wing said rope work. So, if you know the kink that works for you or your partner to help distract or calm,
Right.
I think it's about knowing to offer that. You know, hey, let's go do this thing. Will that help? Or hey, what do you think about this? Or hey, I think you need some of that. I mean, I know some of his grump would go away in a heartbeat if he could just take a paddle to my ass.
Oh, yes.
I believe
Yes.
I got threatened with punishment, which at this point, I'm not going to consider it that. I'm going to thank him profusely. Once we're in the new house, before we even moved in, just like, go. Like, not take the kids to the new house, be like, just go. Just to have those few minutes. Because I do know that sometimes that's the cause of the grumpiness. Right. And I am trying to distract you out of it. And that's the downside. You distract your partner. You cheer them up. You're cheerful. You get them to laugh. Whatever it is you're trying to do.
And in the past, in some circumstances, that has worked for us.
Right. But then once you've had that moment, the worry is still there. And if it's not something that can be talked through, not every worry can be. Sometimes it's, the world's on fire out there. Ooh, it is what it is.
Well, it's just like, too, there have been times that, I've gone to you and said, hey, look, you need to be spanked. You need to turn that off up there. And
yes.
And that's worked for you.
And and there are times we've had this conversation in the past on podcasts and YouTube and whatever, where I've asked for it because I'm like, my head's not in a good place and I could use this and I know this is cathartic, so like just beat my ass, please and thank you. We'll talk about it in the bonus section, but we are barreling towards that moment again, and I am so excited.
Jennifer said, and that is true. She said, it doesn't solve jack. And a lot of time it doesn't. It doesn't solve anything. But sometimes, and I have found this and through time, life, that sometimes just taking that step back,
having the moment to take a break from the thing.
Yeah.
Because Jennifer's right. Sometimes you get that moment of distraction, you go do that thing, and you, like I said, you come back to it, nothing's different. But giving yourself that break for just a moment.
But sometimes that moment of calm, that quiet, and stepping back from it, it clears your mind and it allows you to see a different perspective.
Sometimes.
And move towards something.
Or
not all the time, but
right. Or if it's in a situation like we're in right now, right? Yeah. Which we're not naming it because we said we were gonna. But we all know. Sometimes it just reminds you that good things still happen even in the middle of some of the worst moments of your life. Yeah. That there are moments of joy and there are moments of fun and there are moments of humor even at low points in life. And they're probably, I would almost say, more important at low moments in life because if we can have them, if we can receive them, if we have somebody in our life who can help us experience them, we need to remember that life is not always the lowest point we're at in any given moment, because nothing is forever except the D word that we're not going to talk about. And whatever we're going through now, however long it takes us to go through it, it will change again and life will change again. And then we'll be in a new situation. And if we go through all of our lowest moments, never having a spark of joy, even if it's just a moment every so often, we can forget what that feels like, and we can lose even more hope. Now, some of us, like I said, I'm a glittery optimist. I know, so I'm pretty much got some part of me is always hopeful. Even when I feel like I'm kind of pessimistic, I'm still always hopeful. I know, and not everybody is wired that way, and that's fine. But there's always some little speck somewhere, like you're at least hopeful that you still love your partner. Like, that's a hope. You are hopeful that you're going to be together for however long you want to be together. That's a hope, even if you don't call it that way. That's still an optimism on some level. So having those moments to just come outside of the worst moment you're in and to feel something good. You know, I do, and I have had, God, I remember some of the lowest points in my life. I would get, just Jennifer said it, I would get angry when I was done because I had the good moment and I couldn't get it back, right? And I had to go back to the sucky thing. And it would make me angry or it would make me sad, and I would have to deal with those emotions. But I don't think that I could have ever held on to my inner optimist that I've had my whole life. I mean, this is how I'm wired. If I hadn't had those moments, like what kind of person would I have been if I'd gone through my lowest moments and never had a moment to laugh with somebody, never had a moment to feel good, even for 30 seconds, even for a day. Like, I know me, and I always attribute this to my baby girl side, but when I get something I like and feels good, I'm greedy for it. Maybe that's more human nature, and it's not really about being a baby girl. I just call it my baby girl self. I'm greedy for it. I want more of it. And then I do get angry when I can't have more of it. And I get impatient that I'm going to have to wait for it. And it is easier to be on the outside of a low moment and be philosophical about it. But I recognize the benefit I've had with the friends who cheered me up, with the partners who gave me those distractions, with the friends who distracted me and gave me those moments of joy. And even if it was dark humor, like we've talked about this before, I'm the one that's cracking a joke at a funeral because that's like a low moment, and it's dark and it's painful and there's a lot to process. And I'm going to distract us with a little bit of laughter. And my mom's going to do it. My aunts, the whole family, like, you can't put us in a row together at a funeral. We will be the giggly row and we will get all of the disapproving looks, but we will have that moment. And then you're right. We do find it's easier to process. And somebody who's smarter than me that actually studies mental health and psychology and the brain and emotions and thoughts can explain maybe why that occurs. But yeah, like it's not just that I'm an optimist to the nth degree and that annoys some people that I'm talking about cheering each other up. I think that on some levels it benefits us.
Yeah.
I just don't know the science, so I won't even pretend to talk about that. But yeah, if you don't like the term cheering each other up, if you're like, oh, that's way too optimistic, call it what it really is. It's a distraction. It's a distraction from the moment. It's a snarky one, it's a sarcastic one, it's a funny one, it's a silly one. Like, I don't care, whatever works. But yeah, and if you can do that for your partner, hopefully they'll do it for you. And sometimes there'll be moments where you can't do it for each other. Like, there are just times where you just got to be miserable together. But you know, when you feel the urge to tickle them, even if they'll kick you in the head for it, or crack
wear body armor,
that very inappropriate joke, or do that kinky thing, you know, I think it's helpful. I think it's helpful in the state of the world today. I think it's helpful when the world is not on fire outside. Like, I feel like it's not a bad thing, even if you don't want to call it cheering each other up and you don't want it to be like this glittery, optimistic thing. That's what I think. Is that enough?
All right.
Oh, God.
Are we ready to move on?
Don't make me go.
Now?
I'll take her on you. I will throw my back out if I have to go. I'll take her on you, and it will not be pleasant.
No, we have a lot of work coming up. You cannot hurt your back.
I know. Okay, so we have rambled for a good hour now.
Yeah.
We are going to do a bonus section. We have some news to impart in the bonus section, and so yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Are we good?
Vaguely.
Keep it kinky, y'all.
And we'll see you next week. We think. Daddy.
Yes, baby girl.
Can I talk to the crickets?
You certainly
please?
can.
Thank you, Daddy.
I know you've been stopping at the bit for this since we sat down to record.
I know, we've had news. We've had news.
We've had to sit and wait all this time, and
I know.
now that it's finally here, I guess you're ready to talk and just go on and say what you got to say. But
but you're going to keep talking, so I can't because I'm trying to be better about interrupting you. But whatever, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I have to. I want to say this. I'm not meaning to tease podcast listeners because I'm not actually trying to be a tease. But if you've ever been curious about the live stream, the conversation in the live stream chat, like y'all didn't even need us. We could have just stopped talking 30 minutes ago. Y'all are doing just fine, and I love it. It's like we can't watch it too much while we're talking or we get distracted. But there's community going on there is all I'm saying. So I have forgotten for the past 2 or 3 weeks, but I've remembered this week we are going to do an emoji of the week, and I want it to be, and I can't remember exactly what this emoji is called, but it's one I use all the freaking time. It's the laughing until you cry emoji. So it's it's not the sideways smiley with the tears coming out. It's the front ways smiley with the tears coming out. I use it all of the time. In the live chat, we're going to put it, but y'all know, and if you follow me on Twitter, podcast listeners, you know I use it all the time. Because when I finally legit laugh at something I see online, that's the smiley face. And in an effort to cheer each other up, that is the emoji. You can tweet it at us. You can leave it in comment sections on the show notes page, on the YouTube video and the live stream. You can have people send it to us in FetLife, have people send it to us through Patreon. Now that we've got the Discord server, just light it up because quite frankly, there are times when I know, especially when we're doing lighthearted topics or when I crack an inappropriate joke in the middle of a deep, important topic, that's the face I want to make people make. Like that. I know I am that really I roll cringeworthy person who just wants to make the world happy with me. But yeah, so that's our emoji of the week. Do you want to say her or do you want me to say her?
Go for it.
Thank you.
No, wait,
It's fine. You're the daddy.
Have at it, girl.
Daddy.
Have at it, girl. You're going to explode.
We are recording on Wednesday, April 22nd. On Friday, April 24th at 3 p.m. Eastern, we will close on our new fucking house.
Yeah.
We will be homeowners.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
We are closing. We got the clear to close. We've signed all kinds of disclosure doolollies. We had to set a thing up with the title company about how to do closing with social distancing.
Yeah. But it's happening.
3 p.m. And we have the YouTube live stream hangout that night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Y'all, it might just be us jangling the new house keys in front of the camera for 30 minutes. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And the painter came in way under what we thought it would be because of another quote we got that we were like, wow, that's a really high quote.
Yeah.
They're starting work on the new house on Monday.
They are taking down the wallpaper.
And they're painting all of the interior rooms and the trim and the doors. I think it's because we kept it simple and the walls are in good condition, but still.
True.
And we found the carpet we want. We have to get that scheduled. That'll be a next week project. And we've been talking about the good internet, especially for all these live streams we're doing.
Yeah, I called and got that.
That's coming.
Situated.
That'll be installed before we move in.
Right.
So that's going to happen. Y'all would not probably want to see the shopping lists, I think they call them, that I have saved at Lowe's.com and IKEA. Now, the one at Lowe's, I would not order that whole shopping list. I'm just saving it so we can go back and go, okay, what do we want? What do we like? I have some more things to add to that list, by the way, that I keep forgetting. Yes. So the house, it's all happening. It's all happening. Oh, and I've been talking to the movers. I'm waiting on a final quote to make sure that, yeah, that would work. It's all happening.
Yes.
Is all happening.
Yeah.
I do know for purposes, I didn't do this at the beginning for the real announcements because nothing's been decided. I know the week of our actual physical move, which will be probably May 13th that week, we will be on hiatus that week. Will we be on hiatus the week before? I don't know yet. We have to kind of look at the schedule and the calendar and yada, yada,
Right.
yada.
See how things start
Right.
panning out as far as how.
But
how
guess
things are
what
going.
we don't have to do? We don't have to paint nothing that we don't want to paint. I am going to paint a wall in some room the sassy lilac color that I love because it's called sassy lilac. I have to. It's required by law. I don't know if you knew that. The law of Kayla Lord's baby girl extraordinaire. That's the law. But that's a weekend thing. That's not a big deal. Yeah. What else am I missing? Oh, you have a thing you just dealt with today that will be formally dealt with either tomorrow or Friday.
Yes. A lot of you remember I started working on the motorcycle, get my bike running, and for different various reasons I hit a little bit of a brick wall with that.
Yeah, you did.
And I found somebody who can and will work on the bike, and they will be here either Thursday or Friday to pick it up.
Mm-hmm. So you don't even have to get it to them.
No.
Which was the last place you looked at. That's what you would have had to do. Yeah.
So, that's going to be taken care of and have that back up and running again.
Mm-hmm. And if they're still working on it while we're dealing with the move, that's fine. And if they get it done sooner, at least it's running.
Right.
Somebody asked in the live stream chat, have we picked colors? So what happened was we have narrowed it down to 2 from all the paint chips. Sherwin-Williams will mail you for free 10 paint chips. Just saying. And then I'm so glad we have paint chips in our hand because those colors on the screen were deceiving as hell. We ended up accidentally having them send us 2 purples that we never would have thought were purple colors.
Not from the screen.
No. And what we're waiting on, Sherwin, one, I want to get into the new house and see the natural light, blah, 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 and put the paint chip at least up on the wall and go, okay, which one do I like? But also Sherwin-Williams, and I'm sure other companies do too, it's just the one I know about, has an app where if you take a picture of the room, you can then virtually apply the paint color to the wall. And since it's a Sherwin-Williams color, because that's who would send us paint chips for free, it's the only reason, we're going to do that Friday afternoon. Because after we close, we'll go to the closing, and then we can't bring the kids because of social distancing. Only the signers can be there. Even if our realtor decided he wanted to go, he's got to sit in his car the whole time.
Yes.
He's got a pregnant wife. If he does not show up, it's fine. I will not be offended. So we'll come home, get the kids, go to the house, because then now it's our house and we can go whenever the fuck we want to go. But we'll take pictures then and we'll start playing with that. And I think I know what color we're going to go with, but we're none of the colors we've looked at. This is from the Friday night live stream hangout. If you're not aware, none of the colors have good names. The colors that we like.
Yeah, but right now the top contender,
they have boring names.
Not the top contender.
Number 2 is a boring name for paint color. I mean, we're gonna have sassy lilac in our house. How can we have boring paint color names? It's just not right.
But the one's called what? Come on, say the name.
Should a sex blogger say this on the internet? It's called Choice Cream. Stop it. Y'all, my second choice, which is actually a really pretty color, I just think it might be a little too dark, is just literally called beige. That's what it's called. It's a boring name, even though the color's not that bad. It's just a little dark. We'll figure it out Friday.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, and so a couple questions came up through the live stream that I'll answer. One, technically, our lease ends May 15th.
Right.
And we're gonna be out by May 15th. Our landlord, who is our realtor, will work with us. So if something happened, we could stay through the month. We've already actually paid for the whole month of May, so it's fine. But yeah, we just want to be out. And the way the work seems to be lining up, that shouldn't be a problem. And then somebody else asked Crystal asked if the spanking will occur in the empty house before the Friday night hangout.
It's a possibility.
Yes,
indeed.
Somebody may or may not be pushing buttons and being a little extra sassy Uh, not on purpose, but you know that subconscious
No,
will do
you
shit.
never do anything on purpose, do you, girl? Do you? Yeah.
Okay, podcast listeners, my hair got pulled and I'm here for it. It's fine. This is fine. So yeah. Jennifer says I should just rename those boring paint colors, and maybe I will. Y'all, we were looking at paint colors. We only had the paint chip sent if we actually liked the color, but there were a couple I think we were swayed by the name. We will talk about those Friday night because that'll be a fun time to talk about that while I'm jangling the keys. I'm just jangling the keys. Let's see, anything else? Like the house has been on our mind so freaking much. It's like all I can think about.
That's been pretty much what's been going on. This week has pretty much been it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm staying more focused with work this week than I did last week.
I mean, I have one more order. I'm working on for the shop, but I'm not starting any.
No, you got to start packing it up and moving it.
I've already started organizing some of the shop, but yeah, I have one more order to finish, and that will be going out by the end of this week. That'll be done.
Yeah, I have a few things I got to ship out.
Yeah.
So two of the things the people did not pay for, they're giveaway items, but I should actually mail them out. That would be nice.
Yeah, and my intention, the bike will be out of the garage the next day or two, and probably this weekend I'm going to start moving some of the tools over.
Yeah,
and
and I'm going to start going through. It's hard because obviously right now, normally every time before we've ever moved, we kind of do a great purge and we figure out I'm not moving this. We'll just donate it.
Yeah.
Well, we need to still go through stuff, but it can't really be donated anywhere.
Yeah,
so it's like
nobody here right now is accepting any donations.
No, and that's fine, and that's totally fine. It just, but yeah, I'm gonna go through the dresser drawers in the closet because some of the things I have now moved between two addresses, and I have not actually looked at them either time. It's time to hang it up and just admit I'm not going to wear that anymore, no matter how much I want to. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of boring right now. But yeah, and we have total first world problems right now. We're like, oh, this massive room, don't worry, I will be Instagramming it to freaking heart's content, and I'll be for the office. I think we're going to do an office tour once it's done, video, so I'll get some before footage of the
before and
I'll get some before footage of the office. It's this massive room, y'all. It's narrow but it's really, really long, runs most of the length of the house, and we're like, oh no, we have too much space, how will we set this up? Like, y'all. I mean, that's the epitome of first world problems. But we're gonna figure it out, and it's gonna be fine.
Yes.
But it's exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We were talking about it yesterday, Tuesday, before I started recording this. I feel like we're at the last mile of a marathon. There's still a lot of little things that have to happen, but I'm at that point where I'm done. Like, I'm over it. I don't want to be thinking about it anymore, but also I want to just get everything done. Like, I don't want to be patient about some of the stuff that we need to do. There will be a lot of list making in the future, probably this weekend. Lots of list making. Also, I think a kink of mine, so that's okay. Because we need to get this and we need to do that and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah,
very exciting. Been a very long journey. I need to go back and look at a calendar or something and see just how long we've been talking about this, because before we sold the condo, we spent months working on getting it ready to sell. Before we did that, we were talking about selling and moving. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, this is the longest fucking marathon ever. But
we're there. We're at the end of the end of this particular journey.
I know. We can rest for a little bit after this.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I would
talked
just
about
like
that
to
the
sit
other night
still.
while we were walking. No, I think we all we there is a well-deserved rest after this.
Yeah, I was talking to another one of my groups, my Smutlancer group, and they know me too well. My friends there, Quinn, they were like, "You're just gonna come up with 10 more projects." I was like, "Shh, not so loud." I'm gonna try not to come up with 10 more projects. I'm gonna actually try to use the mental space the move has been taking up in my brain to actually focus on the shit we're already doing. Please and thank you. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's plenty.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of boring. Like I said, we're kind of boring right now. But also, we're like on edge. We're like, is it Friday at 3 yet? Is it Friday at 3 yet?
I know.
Are we there yet?
Our lives away.
Oh my God, for however long it takes. I know. So that was the interesting thing. The title company gave you choices. You could do one thing I can't remember.
There were 3 options that they gave us.
We picked number 3.
The first one was doing the signing in your car.
Yeah. In your car, that's right.
The second was they have a table.
In the parking lot?
No.
No?
No. In the front of the office, not in the parking lot.
Oh, it was in the parking lot.
No, in the front of the office. They have like an awning.
Oh, it's okay. It's outside the front door.
It's outside the front door.
Outside.
Yeah. And then the third was in their
really controlled environment, sterilized office. We will take all precautions. I was like, I would like to sign my life away at the nice, pretty conference room table. Oh wow, Saki, you made it through this whole thing and barely coughed, and now they're coughing up a lung. Sorry, y'all, poor baby. Yeah, I was like, can I come inside where the air conditioning is and the table? I mean, if we're gonna sign for a 30-year mortgage, I just want to sign at the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Poor Saki. So yeah. Anyway. Oh, Crystal, thank you. Crystal says the mini podcasts have been great. Good. I have more to record. The one that went out this week was the last one that I have pre-recorded, so I have to get on that. And yes, Silent, you're right. Everything is boring right now. Okay, so I think we should go.
Yeah.
And release the Krakens, the children, and let them get back on the internet.
Yes.
If you manage to come see us Friday night here on YouTube and join us for the Hangout, we will see you then. That live stream, we do not leave live to be watched later because it's just us chatting. It's literally us talking about whatever's being talked about in the live stream chat. So the only way you can watch it later is to also read the live stream chat at the same time for anything to make sense. We just don't keep that live. It is meant purely just to be a hangout.
Just to hang out and...
Right. And we do it every Friday for the foreseeable future. So I think we should be able to do it even through the move.
I think so.
I think so. It might be kind of funky. We might be like not sitting in nice chairs and it might be weird, but we think we can do it through the move. So we are going to keep doing that. So podcast listeners, if you... can't do it for the podcast episodes, I totally get it. But if you want to come join us Friday night, youtube.com/lovingbdsm at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And we will see y'all then. And if not then you will hear our voices next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love you guys. Thank you. Bye. We'll see you Friday.